Welcome back to the Organizational Health Check series by JEYPENT, a management consulting practice that's based here in Nairobi, Kenya. We support organizations in areas to do with strategy, organizational and human capacity development, and market research and related areas. My name is Julia Irongo, and I'll be taking you through today's episode. Today we'll be talking strategy. And that's a dear area to us as a company. We'll be asking the question, do you know where you're going and how to get there? You see, strategy is the roadmap you use to guide every decision, every partnership, and every investment. Without a clear strategy, even the most active organization can end up just busy but not effective. And we've all seen it, right? Teams working overtime, projects running left and right, but at the end of the day or at the end of the year, nobody is quite sure whether all the activity has actually moved the needle. So today, let's break down what a real strategy looks like, how it differs from operations, and how you can keep it alive. Number one, we'll talk about clarity of direction. A good strategy answers three simple but powerful questions for your business or your organization. Number one, where are we now? And two, where do we want to go? And three, how will we get there? Sounds simple, but in practice, many organizations stumble into areas. Some skip the first step, the question of where are we now, and rush straight into the grand vision. That's like planning for a trip without knowing where exactly you are starting. You might say, well, we'll get to Mombasa in 2 hours, but if you're starting in Kisumu, that's just not going to happen. Other organizations will skip the last part, the question of how will we get there. So there is a big vision, but there is no clear path of the how, the answering the question how. And that's where you see beautiful strategies. They are full of buzzwords, but very little that's concrete. Strategic clarity means that everyone in your organization, from your junior-most staff to your board and to your partners, share the same vision and the same picture of success, and they understand the journey, the how to get there. So the definition of success in your team should be actually unified. When you ask your junior staff what success looks like, you ask your board, your partners, they should gravitate around the same thing. Here's a reflection. If I walked into your office today and asked 3 random staff members to describe your strategy, would I get the same answer, or at least maybe a variation of the same answer, or 3 completely different versions? The test alone can tell you how clear your strategic direction really is. Number 2, let's talk about one of the biggest traps organizations fall into, and that is the confusion around strategy with operations. Operations are the day-to-day tasks. We are writing reports, there's programs that are running, we are paying salaries, we are running events, we are submitting proposals, all very necessary. But then strategy is a bit different, because strategy has to do with the big picture. It's the set of choices about priorities, positioning, and trade-offs. In other words, it helps you to decide not only what you will do, but also what you will not do, because you understand the why. Let's say you are a health NGO. An opportunity comes up to run a small environmental project because a donor is offering funding. Do you grab it? Operations-focused organizations will say yes, because they are used to chasing activities, maybe funding. But a strategy-focused organization will pause and ask, how does this align with our mission? Does it align with our long-term goals? Or will it just spread out us too thinly, and then we are not actually moving our vision and our mission forward? And that's the difference. Your operations is really the day-to-day. Think of it like parking. Parking to travel. Strategy is choosing a destination. That's the vision, that's the big picture, that's where we are going. So, but operations is now in the activity, so that you can have a very well packed suitcase, But if you end up in the beach with mountain gear, you're gonna have a problem. Then let's talk about strategic plans as living documents. A strategy should never gather dust on a shelf, or worse, live in a glossy binder from that expensive strategy retreat when it happened for your business or for your organization. If your staff can't explain the strategy simply, or if the last time anyone opened the document was, say, maybe 2 years ago, then your strategy is not really guiding operations. It's just something that you have as an add-on to your organization. Living strategies are different. They show up in the work plans. They show up in objective cards for your staff and your personnel. They are discussed in staff meetings. They get adjusted when context changes, because strategy is it's not practical for strategy to envision precisely the next maybe 5 or 10 years or whatever period your strategic plan covers. And that is why strategic plans must be treated as a living document, so that as external conditions change or adjust, internal realities within your business or your organization change, then you are able to adjust your strategic plan in like manner. It's not cast on stone, so it should be able to actually keep evolving to match the needs and the evolving needs and realities within the environment, internally and externally. Let me give you an example. Suppose your organization strategy emphasizes youth empowerment, but halfway through, your monitoring data shows that youth aren't actually attending your programs in large numbers. A living strategy allows you to say, let's pause. If this is our priority, if our priority is engaging the youth, how then do we shift so that we are actually able to have more youths engage with our program? Because strategy cannot perfectly predict the future, but with an organization being intentional, you are able to keep adjusting in like manner, so that you still know your direction, but you can adapt. Strategy links resources to performance. Very important. So first, let's talk resources. Donors and partners are drawn to organizations that have a clear plan. So imagine you are an investor. Would you put money into a business that the leadership says, well, we'll figure it out as we go? Probably not. The same applies to non-profits and social enterprises. Clarity attracts investments. And then when you talk about performance, a clear strategy motivates your staff. It gives meaning to their day-to-day work, because they are able to see how it fits into the big picture of the organization. And for leaders, it becomes a very fair way to evaluate performance within their teams, so that it's not a question of whether people are busy every day, 8 to 5, but it's about whether the business or the activity that is going on is actually moving the organization forward towards the vision or the mission. Here's a thought exercise. At the end of your reporting year, can you clearly link your budget and activities back to the strategic goals you set? If the answer is no, then your strategy and your operations may be living separate lives, and that is a big problem for an organization. Let's also talk about some common pitfalls around strategy, and I'll share with us just 3. One of them is strategy as jargon. If a strategic plan is full of complicated language, there's all these data, there's all these words, and it's not very clear, then it's not useful for your business or your organization. Strategy must be simply understood. 2, strategy is a one-time event. That's another common pitfall. So organizations go for, they have a consultant, they go for the retreat, they come back with a wonderful, powerful strategy, but then it is forgotten until the next time, where maybe the manager reports that the period has lapsed. Number 3, strategy as a donor pleaser. so that a strategic plan is written to, kick off engagements with donors or partners or maybe stakeholders, so that it's really a crowd pleaser, but has nothing to do with what you're doing day to day. So if your business just develops a strategy so that, it's a good to have, we have it. If anybody asks, we have it, and it makes us look good, but there is no correlation between that strategy and the things you are doing every day. Avoiding these pitfalls comes back to one word, and that word is ownership. When staff, the board, and all your stakeholders feel the ownership of the strategy, that is the only way a strategic plan comes alive. So as you develop your strategic plan, you have to be very intentional to ensure there is ownership of that document, there is ownership of the plan and the vision and the how to, so that people pick up where they're supposed to, and they run with the document, they run with the plan and the objectives that have been set. Now, circling back to the initial question, does the organization know where it's going and how to get there? Healthy organizations keep their strategic plans very clear. They keep them operational and they keep them alive. They don't just chase every other, compelling opportunity that comes up. They are driven by purpose. They are very clear on what it is they are aiming towards, and they stick to it. They stick to it regardless of other opportunities that may be showing up that may not be directly linked to their vision and their mission. Because in the end, a strong strategy isn't about having a perfect plan. It is actually about knowing, your direction, the how to, where you're going. It's about making deliberate choices and ensuring that your people and your resources are actually aligned, so that all of them are focused towards getting to the goal or to the vision without too many unnecessary turns along the way. Great, this has been episode 4 of the Organizational Health Check series by JEYPENT. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this helpful, please like, share with your networks, those that might find this beneficial to them. JEYPENT is a management consulting practice. One of our core areas is strategy. So should you need a strategy health check for your organization, or in the cases where you do not have a strategic plan or a business plan for your business, you could get in touch with us at info@jeypent.com, and we will be happy to just kick off a conversation on how we could be of support to your organization. Again, thank you for tuning in, and see you in the next episode. Till next time.